Hi guys, this is Alex. For this one, I decided to do a voiceover rather than just the intro that I've been doing for the past few videos. The reason why I wanted to do a voiceover with this one is, well, first let me just introduce this. This is Thomsen. He is a Cairn Terrier, and it is the prize for my giveaway winner on Instagram. I will also have one on my Facebook page pretty soon, so if you guys want to partake in that, you can go to my Facebook page, which I have linked in the description. Anyway, enough about that giveaway. What I wanted to talk to you about is this painting, because it was my first time drawing rough fur and I found that it was quite difficult. This ended up taking me why do I keep saying 64? 46 and a half hours in total. The reason why it took so long was because, unlike with straight fur, I actually know how, unlike straight fur, I don't actually know how to do it quickly. I tried, as you can see right now, to do it fast, but then decided that I should probably just try working with the shapes that I was seeing, rather than trying to make the fur look good without actually following any shape and just doing straight lines. The reason why that didn't work is what my brain figured out, is because straight fur, unlike rough fur, does not have much texture. It's straight, obviously it's straight. So what ended up happening was that I was making it look like straight fur. I was making it look too shiny, because when light hits straight fur, it's going to reflect light in like a smooth manner. With rough fur, it has lots of indents into each of the hairs, which makes it quite difficult to actually capture exactly what you would, want by doing shiny fur. So I had quite a struggle with this. I used a special brush setting. I use Fuzzy Static, I think it's called, at 80% with the brush. I will link my settings below just so you guys can see them. I'm gonna post a link to a picture of my brush settings for this. And I will also cover this in the fur tutorial, so I'm gonna have to study rough fur a bit more, because obviously I didn't even know what I was doing. As you can see right now, I decided to do all the detail I could possibly find, so I would actually look at each individual hair and shape and shadow and all those things, and do all those small little hairs. Took forever, obviously, as you can probably tell by the time that it took. Something else I wanted to mention. When I got to the snow, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Something I discovered when I was doing it was that it is actually quite difficult to capture those little snow pieces properly, because if I did not focus on the entire thing, I couldn't just do splatter all over it, because that wouldn't look good. So I had to actually go down and look at each individual shape rather than just doing lots of splatter. That ended up taking me 8 or 9 hours as well, and that was partly also because I didn't have my sketch right. So tip from me: always do your sketch as accurately as you possibly can, especially if you want to do hyper-realism as this is, because if you do not, you're gonna have to figure it out once you get to that point, and that can be really, really difficult, especially in traditional media. If you get it too dark, you can't remove that darkness completely, so you have to plan it out properly. I didn't do that, but I also did it in digital media, which makes it a bit easier to just change it, paint over it. If I was doing it in paint too, it wouldn't, acrylic paint or something, it would still be easier to get it back to light But if you were doing it in pencil, it would be quite a lot harder to do that. As for what I got in the ending, I mean, I still think it looks really realistic, don't get me wrong here, but it does not look as accurate to the picture as I wanted it to be, because I always, when I do hyperrealism, I always want to capture the photo as accurately as I possibly can, just to prove that I can do it. It doesn't have to do with just copying the photo, that's not the point of it, but I want to be able to do it if I want to. But you know, even though it's a bit too dark in some places and a bit too, you know, not textured in some places, it's fine. It doesn't really matter, because, you know, this is gonna sound bad, but it's a giveaway prize and it's free, and I already spent almost 50 hours on it. For me to redo the whole thing just because I'm not happy with it would be silly, because other people do not view it as critically as I would. That's the life of any artist. They just don't. People just don't see it that way, because they don't know what you've envisioned. So, I mean, I'm still happy with it, but I feel like I could have done better. And yeah, now I got to the snow, and as you can probably tell in a minute, I am pretty much going to reposition most of what I had laid out, because I didn't do it accurately. I kind of just put lots of blobs in there, which was stupid, but you know. Something else I wanted to talk about is I'm still working. I have the side tutorial planned out, so now I just need to film it, but right now I have exams and I just really need to be over with that first, and I also have a few other pieces that I want to finish as well. Not all of them are going to be recorded, but if you want to see what I'm working on, I mean, there's always Facebook and there's always Instagram, because I post more rarely on there than I do on here, obviously, because I have to finish everything before I can post it here, while I can actually post works in progress on the other social media. And also, if I do like a sketch, I can also post that there. You know, it's just easier. What I did as a final touch here was, when I was done drawing it, I didn't put as much detail on the edges because I knew that was going to be blurred, and also the collar thing, I also knew that was going to be blurred. So I took that into Photoshop and I did a Gaussian blur on them. I don't even know how you say that, but Gaussian blur on that at different levels for each layer. I had 3 layers: the base, which was just the one color, the flat color, and then the base colors, which were the beginning colors, and then I had 1 layer that had all the detail, and then one with the snow and one with the collar. So I blurred those individually. With the fur layers, I decided that I would just I used a light airbrush, and then the selection mode, the red selection mode, I don't even know what that's called, but the selection mode, and just focus that in the middle so that everything else would be selected. I know, super smart. And then I just went in and blurred it so that it would do a smooth transition, and then I blurred it differently to what I felt looked best. So I didn't blur out the snow at all, and most of the face, the middle of the face, is not blurred at all in the final image, which you can see here. And thank you guys for watching.